It gets broken down into smaller, more digestible pieces that are more relevant. And it allows you to skip over the pieces you already know. It allows you to focus on things you don't know.
Hi, my name is Karina Humakosko from Academic Influence, and I'm here with Doug White, who today we're going to be talking about a cybersecurity program. And so I'm just really interested and fascinated by an online degree in cybersecurity. And so we just want to first hear how your program got started and what was kind of the original vision for that.
Sure. A long time ago, back in the 20th century, in the late 90s, I got this sort of crazy idea that maybe we should start teaching people something about security. I taught networking and programming and things like that. And I had been involved in the hacking community since the 1980s and decided this might be a thing, got some private money at the University of Northern Colorado, and we started this program called Hacking 101 and got a lot of interest. Of course, it got a lot of bad press because of the name, and it turned out that was a pretty dumb name to use, but it seemed kind of snarky and fun at the time. Fast forward then into the 21st century, there was a lot of interest by various people, including civilians, but a lot of law enforcement, military interest in forensics and digital forensics. And there were a lot of TV shows starting to spring up about digital forensics and this kind of investigation. And we decided to create at Roger Williams University a forensics track, since I was a law enforcement forensics trainer. And I thought, well, we could do that on campus. And that program sort of got started, and we offered it online because we felt like there was a bigger marketplace there, and I had the ability to put the technology in place to do it online. And then alongside that, I started getting interest from various people in the industry about hiring people with cybersecurity skills. And we weren't really teaching that, and neither was anybody else. I don't know if there were any other programs around. So this was about 2007. I built a track that was called Cybersecurity that was it was available to computer science students and computer information system students who wanted to do something a little different. And we built an industry board that guided that program, and it determined what the curriculum would look like based on what they wanted to hire. So if the industry people said, we want to hire, C programmers, which was what I was hoping for, oh please, but they didn't, then we could, we would train, in that direction. And that track then evolved into an actual major that then turned into a graduate and an undergraduate program over time, because there's just so much demand in that industry.
And so you were really hoping that they'd be C programmers because that was your particular interest, right?
Well, yeah, I love C, and it's just been a thing that I've taught for a long time, and it's one of my favorite programming languages. So, that wasn't where they went with it, but that's okay. I mean, there's other programming languages.
Right, exactly. And so that kind of brings me to the next point is this is really what people were looking for. And you guys were kind of one of the first to do this as an online degree. And so that's kind of what we're focusing in on is what do you think is the benefit of doing something, especially something like cybersecurity online compared to going into a classroom and sitting with a professor right in front of you teaching this?
Well, I have some strong opinions about it. I think that online and the model of online, so more important than just the fact that I put a camera in a classroom. I mean, this is something that people do. They take a camera, they stick it in a room, and then they do a lecture. I think the world moved away from that. That's to me, a very 19th century kind of idea. And when I want to learn something, and maybe you do too, when I want to learn, I go on YouTube, I go on various sites, and I watch 10-minute videos. If I look at a video and it's just 4 hours, I go, no thanks, I'm out. If you can't tell it to me in 15 minutes, I'm done. I don't have that kind of attention span anymore. And I started getting the idea that this hybrid world of being able to acquire knowledge by looking at things that you wanted to learn when you wanted to learn them, and they were concise and they were short, was probably where a lot of younger people were going to be in a few years. That you're not going to get people who want to sit through a 3-hour lecture on something with a chalkboard. That they want to say, I need to know how a router works. So I want to see a quick, what are the pieces I need to learn? Maybe I know some of those pieces too. So I may know some of that already. And I was talking to students in our board of industry people, and that was what they wanted. And students liked the idea that they could take these chunks of information and combine that with experiential tools that were available, in virtual machines or whatever. And they could fast forward through the parts they weren't interested in or that didn't matter so much to them, because I looked really hard at a lot of stuff I had been doing for a long time and said, wow, what a waste. How much time do you waste here on this? And yeah, maybe I can tell you a funny story and everybody gets a laugh, but is that really the best use of your time? And I found out that students were running videos on 2 times and 4 times and all these kind of things that people your age do all the time. I have a daughter who's in college, and they play these videos. And yeah, my voice sounds even weirder if you play it on 4 times speed, but so who cares? And so the idea that people could learn in a different approach was very appealing to me. The online, then, the technology caught up with what I wanted to do. Instead of somebody saying park a television camera in a room and try to broadcast a lecture, there was the technology through a whole stacks of different things that would allow me to do that on my own. I didn't need an editing crew. It's just the same stuff that people are doing podcasts with. I can do that at home. I could do that in any room, anywhere with a camera I could afford, and I could put that content out there. And then the online piece to me for universities was, look, I don't have to rely on people who are willing to move to Bristol, Rhode Island, or to wherever, or Greeley, Colorado, to attend this program. I could market this program to somebody in Indonesia. And yeah, there's a bit of a time lag problem there with I've taught classes like that where I was teaching classes from here that were being taken in Hong Kong, and it's 12-hour time difference, so it's a little weird, but it's still doable. And so that's really why I went down that road, and I really felt like I did the right thing and that it was a smart thing to do. I still think that.
Yeah, wow. And with a lot of these online programs, we're hearing kind of the similar thing that you're saying, is just accessibility and efficiency is really the push with these online degrees. And so these kind of YouTube equivalents of a giant user manual that you've created with education, what is what's the future goal with that? So we heard the past vision, and obviously a lot of that will still continue into the future goal, but where do you see this going, not only for your program, but how people can use what they learn in the program past into their career?
Well, cybersecurity, one thing I always tell students in cybersecurity is get ready, because you'll never get to stop. I mean, if, for instance, let's just say I want to study the Revolutionary War, that's my field. And no offense, I mean, I think that stuff's very interesting too, but once you learn it, it doesn't change. I mean, the War of 1812 will still happen in 1812. It won't change to some different war or some different. There may be new perspectives and all kinds of things you could talk about, but in the end, once you've learned it, you've kind of learned it. Cybersecurity changes every day, and it doesn't stop changing. It changes faster all the time. And that means that you, as a cybersecurity practitioner, regardless of whether you're in school or not, have got to learn ways to acquire information and knowledge constantly. And again, back to the YouTube kind of thing, right? I mean, it's like we want to learn what happened with that music act that I heard about last night. You jump on and you look at tweets, you look at all these little chunks of things. I think there's 2 things I think come out of all this. One is, I think education gets a lot chunkier, meaning that it gets broken down into smaller, more digestible pieces that are more relevant. And it allows you to skip over the pieces you already know. It allows you to focus on things you don't know. I've watched, there's YouTube videos I've watched 10 times. I may watch some of them every year because I forget that. I looked it up. I was doing it. I made some notes. Oh, I got to do this again next year. I'm going to go back and look at that again. It means I could watch that video as many times as I wanted to watch it. I can turn on subtitles if I want to because my hearing is not so great, or just because I like subtitles, which I do. I could probably find somebody doing that same material in another language. If I want to hear it in French or Farsi or Urdu, all those languages are out there with a lot of different subjects. So I think that kind of convenience continues to come around. The other thing I would like to see is that if we could reduce education down to very, very granular information, instead of there's going to be a test at the end of the semester, if we could reduce it down to a set of key points. I need to know how to do a for loop in C. When you can demonstrate mastery of that, you can check that box. And when you check all the boxes, you're done. I would love to see universities get away from this old-fashioned, oh, it's a 15-week term, and you plodded your way along. And we get a lot of demands for, how could I finish this quicker? I already have a bunch of background. And the sad answer for a lot of people today is, well, nope, it's you got to take this, and it takes 15 weeks and blah, blah, blah. And there's courses that I think some students might take 30 weeks to do. And there's courses that some students could do in a week. And all those different models, I think the more we focus on those models, the more we start to get closer to what's going on in the real world right now, because that is how you and me and a lot of other people are learning things currently. Because if I want to learn French today, and I wish I had time, it would be fun, I'm not going to go sign up for a 3-year French program at a university. I'm going to jump on, I'm going to find some resources, I'm going to find some chat rooms where I can talk to people in French, and I'm going to, when I don't know how something is, like, oh, how do you conjugate this verb? I'm not going to go sign up for a class on verb conjugation. I want to jump on YouTube and go, how do you conjugate this verb in French? And I bet you somebody's already put that material up. So I do think that education becomes a kind of curator process in the future, where some of us will be combining material. Like, I currently use a lot of material from my shows. So from Security Weekly, I do that, I'm on episode almost 200 of Security Weekly News. From Paul's Security Weekly is on episode 700. From my old show, Secure Digital Life, was 200 episodes. I use material from those things all the time, and I let students go watch that instead of me redoing it again and again and again. So I think there's a sort of curator process that's going to come about to vet things, because there's a lot of misinformation too, and to try to help students find good resources that they can use, but they're not all the same for everybody. So I try to tell students, if you don't like listening to me, there's plenty of other people. Listen to them. The important thing is that you can do this C program, or that you can configure this router, and not that you heard me talk about it. It's that, can you do this task? Can you complete this successfully? And if you can, I don't really care beyond that.
Wow. Yeah. And I think you're absolutely right with the curator, is that, especially with these online degrees, it's really getting specific to what a student needs. And a lot of the target audiences, especially in other kind of online degrees, is people who have maybe been out of school for a little bit, who are looking to go back to school. And so again, I think it's just really encouraging for them to hear that there is a different approach to education than kind of this ancient way of education that you kind of talked about. And so, yeah, I hope it's going to be really encouraging for people, especially if they're considering going back to school, or if they want to get a degree in cybersecurity, which, is really, especially today, kind of at the forefront of people that we need. So, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. It was really interesting hearing about your program, and yeah, it was just so nice talking with you.
Thank you very much.